of productivity and help you unleash your full potential. Get ready to take your productivity to the next level with Productivity Smarts. As a productivity expert and host of the Productivity Smarts podcast, Gerald J. Leonard has been a proud supporter of Kiva since 2011. Kiva is a non-profit organization that helps entrepreneurs in third world countries access the capital they need to start or grow their businesses. By making a small loan through Kiva, you can help these entrepreneurs achieve their dreams, support their families, and contribute to their local economies. And with a repayment rate of over 96%, your loan can be relent to another entrepreneur once it's repaid, creating a ripple effect of positive change. So if you're looking for a meaningful way to make a difference in the world, consider making a loan through Kiva. With loans as small as $25, anyone can be a microlender and help change lives. Visit kiva.org to learn more and start lending today.
Today, we're speaking to Manuj Aggarwal, who is the founder and chief innovation officer of TetraNoodle Technologies, which is a technology consulting company specializing in AI, cybersecurity, and custom product development. We're going to be talking about the great AI shakeup. Manuj, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
No problem. Thanks. I'm really excited because you are the first guest on the Productivity Smarts podcast.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm excited to have you here.
Good to be number one.
Excellent. Exactly.
Yeah.
You've kind of proven that throughout your career. As I went and studied you, I was like, wow, this guy's really impressive at what you've done and where you've come from. So tell me, how did you get started in the field of artificial intelligence and all the things that you're doing, cyber and, becoming a chief innovation officer? And what do you think has made you successful in your career?
My background has been technology in general, building software for startups, for large corporations like Microsoft, IBM, Pearson Education. So what I try to do is whenever a new problem is presented to me, I try to see the first criteria for me is this problem going to help humanity move further? Is this going to help solve major problem in education or healthcare or just improve people's lives?
Yes.
And then I say, okay, what are the latest and greatest technologies that I can use to solve this problem? So as new technologies come about, like, the internet, then, the mobile apps, then blockchain, then AI, I have expertise in many, many different fields because I find it fascinating, playing around with these new technologies. It's like almost like playing with a new toy. You get a new toy and then you break it apart, you put it together. So AI has been in my sort of career history for about 15 years. I've been working in the technology field for about 30 years. And so 15 of them I've been building like solutions based on AI. And really what happened was, around 2011, I actually went into depression and I became suicidal. And that was because of some personal experiences I was having in my life.
Yep.
And then in order to fix myself, I obviously went for therapy, but I found true relief in meditation and learning about the mind, learning about neuroscience, learning about psychology and how we create our reality. And what I realized was that there is such a big continuum between artificial intelligence and our human mind.
Yes.
It basically is just like interacting with it as a separate entity, but they both affect each other. So, like listening to podcasts, consuming content online, these are all the things that are sort of influenced or controlled by AI already.
Yes.
So our worldview, what we think, how we think is already sort of, shaped by AI. And in the environment we are right now, we have developed these short attention spans, anxiety, stress. And the reason is because of the way AI is sort of, creating that environment around us to think something is, something is causing us anxiety.
Right.
When I look at these paradigms, how our mind is reacting to all this, AI itself is not nefarious or malicious in itself. So the same algorithms which are causing us stress, that they can be reversed and bring us peace and that meditative sort of state of mind. So when I realized all this, that's what fascinated me even more.
Exactly. That kind of leads me into the next question I had for you, which is, what do you think is poorly understood or unresolved around this area of AI? Because there does seem to be a fear around it, or I think people are, hesitant some people are really excited, right?
Yeah.
Because they're technologists and they understand the value that it's going to bring. Others are very apprehensive, who may
Yeah.
not understand it all. So what do you
See,
think is poorly understood?
yeah. So I'll break it down into few pieces. One is that Hollywood has not done a great job in showcasing AI. So
Yeah,
we unfortunately we take our information from these sources, and we get scared that AI is going to take over the world. So let me explain it this way. There are millions of species on this planet. There's only one species that wages organized war against their own, right?
right.
That's humans. There is no other species on this planet that does that.
Mm,
So this notion of jealousy and ambition and things like that, that is not something that is inherent in any species. And so if I were to say, as a technologist, I'm going to create an algorithm to make this machine jealous or ambitious or something like that, that needs me to do a lot of deep work on myself first,
right.
to understand how do I even generate jealousy, how do I generate ambition in somebody else, right? These are emotions that are generated out of your childhood trauma, or there's a whole field about that, right?
Yes.
So this notion that AI will take over, it's kind of absurd to me, understanding the technology and understanding the human mind. Second thing is about job loss. So a lot of people think that it's going to take away jobs, and it's going to replace many people who are working in these professions. So I will say, yes, there's going to be job disruption, but
Hmm.
job disruption doesn't mean job loss. It's going to
Right.
be job upgrade.
Right.
So people who can understand and embrace the technology, they will actually find better jobs. And the evidence of that is we have gone through so many technological revolutions before as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So everybody who has embraced technology, they benefited. When the internet came, a lot of people said, what the hell is an internet? Like, I don't need a website. Like, this is all, nonsense. And then people who started building websites, they did very, very well. Some people became the richest people on the planet just by starting a website.
Right.
When the mobile phone came, some people became very rich just creating an app. Uber is an app, that's it. And so to say that technology is evil and we're not going to use it, it is to your detriment. If you don't use it, in 5 years you're going to be left way behind, and you'll need to play catch up. So I hope that sort of addresses the fear. It's just the misinformation
Yeah.
that's around us. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're right, because, we have gone through so many different ages within the world, right? As far as going through from an agricultural environment to, industrial environment, and then from industrial to information age. And now we're in the age where we're becoming more of an AI community, and it's happening globally. And, the biggest thing that's been happening is that a lot of the AI components that are out there have already been in place for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's now
Absolutely.
coming to the forefront that we're getting tools in our hands, whether they're apps or whether they're open AI or the things that Microsoft's doing, or Apple's doing, and our Google is doing, where we can now touch and work along with AI. And I think Microsoft has a great explanation of working with AI where they call it a co-pilot. If you think
Yeah.
of the co-pilot, you're running the show, but the co-pilot is taking up a lot of work and doing things for you to make your job easier. And that's really the premise behind AI. So I really appreciate
Exactly.
you sharing that. And because it does help with automating and productivity, and really being, like I said, being productivity smart, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So as I looked at your website, you had some really interesting things in here. You talked about working in India, earning $2 a day at one point in your life, and now you have patents. You're talking about AI. You've written 2 books. I did look at your books. They're very detailed, technological. They do not look like books that are $2 a day worker will want.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty fascinated by this. So can you tell us your story? Tell me your story. How'd you get
Yeah.
started? How does all this happen?
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town in India, and in a developing country, in a small town, you don't have a lot of opportunities. So my career started working in a factory at 15, and that's where I was getting paid $2 a day.
Wow.
It was really backbreaking work, like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I said to myself, there's got to be more in life than this. And at that point, with no resources, no connections or anything like that, I just relied on my intellect. I mean, I just had the ability to think and
Yeah.
study. And so I said, okay, what can I do? And then one day I was going through some business magazines during lunch hours, and I got some inspiration reading these stories about, these tycoons who built their empires. And I'm
Yeah.
like, these guys are or gals are same as me, like human beings. And, if they can do it, anybody should be able to do it. And obviously that was like a pipe dream at that time. But then I found my love for computers and programming, so I enrolled in a computer programming course, and I was an extremely introverted child at that time.
Mm.
So for me, talking to a machine, giving it commands, it'll do the job, not talk back. That was heaven. Like I'm just you know I'm communicating with another human being, and so that's when I realized this is what I want to do for the rest of my life: solve
Yep.
problems with technology. And so I came over to Canada in 1998, and then I got a job quickly. That was the dot-com boom time. I
Okay.
lost the job. I lost the job as quickly as well. Dot-com bust happened,
Yep.
and then I lost another job. September 11th happened.
Mm.
Gulf War happened. So a lot of these successive sort of job losses happened in my life. So back then I thought, this job security thing doesn't exist anywhere. It doesn't matter India
Right.
or Canada. So then I started my consulting company, and then started working with many startups, with Microsoft, with IBM, building these large scale systems. And the idea was for me to just continue to push. Okay, what else can I do? Where else can I like grow? Where else can I find new insights and solve some big problems?
Right.
And that desire has led me to where I am today.
Excellent. Excellent. There's so many things in there that you said, because like when you said you were working at the $2 a day job, and you were sitting down and you started looking at these magazines of these tycoons or experts, and you said to yourself, hey, if they can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
I think when we do those little things, and we may call them, in fact, I think at the time you said it was like a pipe dream, right?
Yeah.
But it's really not a pipe dream when you sit down and you look at someone else's life and you begin, even for a second, to visualize yourself being in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
You just change the trajectory of your life when you do that,
Exactly.
because your brain cannot let that vision go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It holds
Absolutely.
on to it. And there's something in our minds that's called the reticular activating system. And it's when we get aware of something and we become notified about it, that then everything around us gets filtered through that lens.
Exactly.
And we start seeing all the opportunities that we have never seen before. So I'm really excited and really pumped about your story. Now, before we go on, and before we dig a little bit deeper into this topic around AI, so I want to take a moment and just tell our audience about a fantastic book, A Symphony of Choices.
Introducing A Symphony of Choices, the must-read book for any manager looking to improve their decision-making, project management, and workplace engagement skills. Author Gerald J. Leonard takes readers on a journey through a high-pressure season for a symphony orchestra, where a mentorship program was implemented to turn things around. Through real-life examples and relatable anecdotes, you'll learn how mentorship can transform a team, boost productivity, and achieve outstanding results. This book is not just for music industry professionals, but for anyone in a leadership position who wants to improve their management skills. With practical tips and actionable advice, you'll discover how to make sound decisions in high-pressure situations, motivate your team to achieve their best work, manage complex projects with ease, foster a culture of collaboration and teamwork, and much more. A Symphony of Choices is a timely resource full of practical tools and real examples that will help you build the knowledge and skills to thrive in a project-driven world. Antonio Nieto Rodriguez. A Symphony of Choices is a book that will inspire and empower you to become a better leader. Whether you're a seasoned executive or just starting out in your career, this book is an invaluable resource for anyone looking to improve their management skills and achieve success in the workplace. Order your copy today and join the thousands of managers who have already benefited from the mentorship lessons presented in A Symphony of Choices.
All right, welcome back. Now, as we were talking about AI, what do you think are some of the main challenges for those who are working in AI and also for those who will be consuming and using things like ChatGPT and some of these other tools? What do you think are some of the main challenges that people will face?
See, I think the challenges will be finding true applications for AI. So I'll tell you what I mean. See, right now AI has built a base platform on which we can build more structures, more solutions. So an example of that could be, when the internet came along, the first few websites, they were just like plain HTML, some text there, like not much was going on, but we could exchange information. But then some smart people came along and said, hey, we can use the internet for bigger things. Like, we can create e-commerce application. We can create, applications which can help doctors or whatever. So the internet was the backbone on which these big solutions were created. The AI we see right now, you can think of it as a base solution. So you can say, okay, how can I create a medical system which takes information from ancient Chinese medicine, ancient Hindu medicine, ancient South American medicine, mix it with the modern Western medicine, and then now you have a holistic doctor advising you. This was not ever possible before this kind of AI platform being available. So I gave you this small idea about, you don't just think AI and ChatGPT is to generate content. It's actually to help you think bigger, help you look at major problems and then implement that. The consumer side will actually, I don't think it will be such a problem, but it's a little bit of the hesitance that I'm talking about. Because in every technological revolution, people, if they don't have a positive affinity towards something, they will resist it and say, oh, I don't want anything to do with AI. Please keep it away from me. The challenge will be that if let's say we divide humanity, let's say 50% are not using it and 50% are using it. Now the 50% are going to have such major advantage because their time will be utilized 10 times more efficiently. They'll be more productive smart. They will be able to get done things much faster, much better. And now when the other 50% look at them, they'll be saying, I missed out or what I've, so they'll need to play catch up. So my advice is to not wait and embrace it as quickly as possible, because it is going to disrupt every area of our lives. There's not going to be any thing that we do that's not going to be AI, because the founder of the father of AI, his name is Andrew Nug. He said AI is the new electricity. So if you can think of life without electricity, that's the kind of life you're going to have without AI.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when you think about it, it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. When you think about that right now, I think the last thing I read, it said there was about 100 million people using ChatGPT. But there's 7 to 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not even 1% of the population using ChatGPT right now. So if the other 7 point whatever billion people aren't aware of this, there's going to be a major disadvantage to them. And so I think it's important for things like this, what we're doing right now, is to create this kind of content that shares with people that, one, you don't have to be afraid of this technology or this process, and you also need to get on board. You need to look into it. You need to visualize or think about, participating in some form of AI, or just learning about it and getting comfortable with it. because
Correct.
it will change everything that we have going on in every aspect of our lives, from
Exactly.
healthcare to medicine to, all the different things that we do on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, if we're sitting here a year from now and you and I get a chance to have another conversation, what are you going to be excited about that to be able to share that you've been working on or doing in your life?
See, we are working on some really really cool projects. One is to help companies build better culture using AI.
Mm,
As so my mind is a little bit different because I have come from the technology background, and now I have also come from sort of the meditation and the heart center, like sort of of humanity.
yeah.
So what I try to do is like look at, okay, how can we solve big problems? When we look at big problems, one of the biggest problems that corporations are facing today is that because of COVID, because of remote work, hybrid work, a lot of people are getting disengaged. They are getting
Yes.
less productive, all that. So with AI, there are solutions that we have built which can help corporations bring back that engagement, bring back that cohesive culture. And the implications are huge, because you can say that if 80% of the workforce is disengaged, even if we are able to make a dent of 25%, and then 20% people become more engaged,
Right.
imagine what will that do to the world, right? Like, imagine what kind of technological revolution it will bring, or satisfaction in work it will bring, or the environment at work, how much happier that will be. So that's one major project we are working on. One of the missions that I personally have in life is to help 20 people win the Nobel Prize.
Okay.
Okay. And so again, utilizing these technologies, we have a certain way to get to that goal. And I just had one meeting yesterday where apparently, like, we will get access to some people who have won the Nobel Prize,
Yeah.
so we can start working with them to like initiate this project. And so these are the couple of kind of things like which are out there. But if this materialize, there's it's going to be very, very impactful. And if in a year we have made good progress towards that, that'll be very exciting to talk about.
Yeah, that would be a pretty amazing. And I know right now you've done some amazing things. I think it was you've spoken at the UN and some other places, and again, we'll put a link to your website in the show notes. But you've done some amazing things to come from where you've come from, and even the challenge that you had in 2011. And I think it's so valuable and important because I do talk a lot about throughout my other podcasts about the value of taking breaks, self-care, and meditation, because sometimes we think that being productive means putting the metal to the gas and just going all out and just continually running 60, 70 hours a week. And that is so far from the truth.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
most
exactly.
productive people prioritize their time and they take breaks. They manage, they meditate, they work out, they do other things so that they have a full life, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
just trying to burn themselves out or work so hard to get something accomplished that they then burn themselves out and end up where you ended up at. But thank goodness you were able to identify that and identify the need for meditation, for self-care, for taking breaks. And then now, because you've added that to your life, you're now probably much more productive and much more effective and much happier than you
Yeah,
were before.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's amazing. So let me ask you this. Who are some of your role models? Because, you know, a lot of times the things that we end up accomplishing, we have models, or we have people that we can look to and imitate, or people we've learned from. Who are some of the people that you have that you used as role models?
Well, the first one was my dad. Like, as I said, my dad was a very strict, self-made man. So he raised me like, in a very, very disciplined environment. And so that was so I learned what to do, and I also learned what not to do, like not to be like so driven and such a workaholic, right? So,
Yeah.
and then after that, I've had many other role models, people who helped me. One couple, like the parents of my ex-wife, they really helped me when I needed help. So I always consider them as my parents as well. And then I've had like role models in the technology space. One person I really look up to is like Elon Musk. Like, I disagree with many of his statement, but the way that he thinks, the way that he
Hmm.
executes. And then in the real religious realm, like, I've had people, spiritual teachers, and mentors and coaches
Right.
who have had a tremendous impact. And then there's a person who's a personal coach. His name is Steve Sims. So he is equally impressive in his life that he has done. Work like, getting married somebody by the Pope, sending people to see the Titanic, or like, he's an amazing guy, and he always teaches people to think of these crazy goals. That if I said to somebody, I want to help 20 people win the Nobel Prize, generally people laugh it off. They're like, that's crazy. So, but he teaches people to set crazy goals and ensure that you set such crazy goals that people laugh at you, and then you go ahead and accomplish it, so that then you can tell people that, look, this is possible. And so I
Exactly.
learned from him the importance of going for these like crazy ideas, and just getting it done.
Yeah, because the thing about it is which if you notice when you said that, I thought, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh at it at all. I thought that was
Mhm.
really cool. Like, man, talking to working with 20 people who've won the Nobel Prize, whether it's Peace Prize or whatever, but have won that prize because it takes the same amount of energy and thought to accomplish a small goal as it does to accomplish a large goal.
Exactly,
Except the
exactly.
large goal requires us to change more
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because it's
yeah.
not about achieving the goal. It's who do you have to become to be able
Yes,
to accomplish that goal.
exactly,
And it's
exactly.
really so the higher and the more audacious your goals are, it's really challenging your own character to grow and become
Yeah,
someone that you would stand back and admire yourself. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
applaud you for taking you know big audacious goals and then going after and having mentors who are doing big audacious things. So I think that's the only way to make things work and to
yeah,
go to a whole nother level of living that we're all trying to get to. Now,
yeah.
before we move on, I have another commercial break here, and it's from one of our sponsors called Growth Strategies.
Are you looking for a way to take your business or career to the next level? Look no further than the Growth Strategies Coaching and Mastermind Program from the Productivity Intelligence Institute. This innovative program is designed for entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals who want to accelerate their growth and achieve their goals faster than they ever thought possible. Led by productivity expert and mastermind coach Gerald J. Leonard, this program offers a unique blend of coaching, mentorship, and peer support. Through weekly coaching calls, personalized feedback, and accountability from a supportive community of like-minded professionals, you'll learn the strategies and tactics you need to achieve your most ambitious goals. Whether you're looking to increase revenue, build your team, or launch a new product or service, the Growth Strategies Coaching and Mastermind Program can help you get there. Ready to take your business or career to the next level? Sign up for the Growth Strategies Coaching and Mastermind Program today at productivityintelligence.com/mastermind.
Okay, welcome back. Now, as we wrap this up, I have a question regarding any current customers that you're working with. What are some of the challenges that you're helping your current customers address right now?
The biggest challenge is, to understand how to apply AI in their business, because there's so much happening. People are confused. Many people are saying, oh, I need to implement AI, but where do I start? what do I do with it? Like, do I put it in my customer service department? Do I put it in my like sales department? What do I do? So what we do is we sit down with our clients and we say, okay, this is not how technology should be implemented. Technology should serve the business need. So let's
Yes.
focus on the business side and see where are the biggest pain points, where is the low hanging fruit, where we can implement AI in a baby step. Because if we just like say, okay, let's AI everything, your business is going to fail. So it's always good to adopt technology in baby steps, and we
Yep.
start to look at those impactful areas, and we say, okay, let's take this operation that you're doing this, you're spending like 5 hours a week, and then
Right.
let's automate it using AI. Okay, now it's done. That now tells you what is the capability of AI. Let's look at the second step now. So we are helping people understand these specific areas for their business,
Yep.
and then implementing it in their business. And obviously, as we do that, we see a lot of common patterns between businesses. So as those patterns come up, there'll be opportunity to create products or services that can sort of apply to those specific use cases in every business.
Gotcha. Got it. Makes a lot of sense, because if you start small and you can get everyone to adopt it and accept it, and they start seeing the benefits of what it can do for them, especially when you automate a process, and now it's freed people up to do other things that they rather do than the manual task. You get buy-in, right? You get buy-in, and once you get that buy-in and you have those quick wins, people get on board, because they start seeing that it's not even just the benefit for the business. They start seeing the benefit for their personal lives, because now
exactly.
instead of working weekends to do this manual thing, the systems are doing it. The AI is doing it, and it doesn't get sick. It doesn't need a vacation. It doesn't take a break. It doesn't have to go to the restroom. It just keeps doing what it does, And
exactly.
so I think it's a smart way to implement technology. Now, when it comes to those kinds of technologies and working with the customers, what are some of the trends that you're seeing in the work that you're doing?
See, the trends are always looking for the areas where human error or human effort is high. So, meaning when we fill out the forms, let's say, in a hospital, there are millions of forms to be filled out, but there is a lot of mistakes that people make, or a lot of, empty fields that are left out, and that creates a lot of problem downstream. So, these processes where manual input is needed, where manual work is needed, errors are prevalent. If you automate those, errors go away, and people can save time filling out the forms and things like that. And then human effort, like for example, in the manufacturing domain, there's checking the assembly line whether the product is high quality or not. You can do that with AI and speed things up, because humans take time to understand if it's right product or not. Security, like just monitoring an area with computer vision with the AI, it's much more effective than hiring two security guards, as you said. Like they may need to take a break or what have you. So so many so many patterns are sort of emerging. The biggest one that I'm seeing is personalization. Because previously in the industrial age, we had to do things in mass. So meaning, if I want to if I want to sell this t-shirt that you're wearing, I may be able to offer it in like 5 colors and 6 sizes. That's it. Because I have to manufacture 10,000 of each. But now with AI and automation, I can say, hey, okay, what size are you? What color will you like? And you can go crazy with like the personalization that you can add. And these are the things that are possible today with AI, and it's going to continue to get more personalized, more fine details as we go forward.
It's like when Amazon sends you an email saying, "Hey, you've been looking for this, and now you should think about this." It like knows what you need.
Exactly.
So I can definitely see that becoming more and more of a trend, and something that is going to be happening. Now, is there anything that in our conversation that I forgot to ask you, or that you just you thought, man, I really want to make sure I cover this point? Is there anything like that?
A couple of things I will say is like the moving forward, people's ability to connect with each other, listen to each other will be more important. So people we used to think our thinking ability is what's valuable. It is, but now with the machines taking over, they start to develop that empathy a little bit, and then understand that data is going to be everything, because AI is a product. Like AI is like a dish that is cooked by data as an ingredient. If
Yeah.
we don't have data, AI is not going to work. So you start collecting data in your business, in your life. The more data you have about yourself, about your life, about your business, the more benefit you will get moving forward.
Yeah, I totally agree, because it's all about really training the AI neural network, or the modules, to understand all the different permutations of what you're trying to analyze, and it starts seeing so much of the information that it begins to predict. It begins to predict and really understand what's possible with that. So, with that being said, where can our listeners learn more about you?
Yeah, you can go to my website, manujaggarwal.com. It's my first name, last name. If it's difficult to type, you can go to manuj.ca. Manuj.ca will take you to my contact information, or simply find me on LinkedIn and tell me you heard me on this podcast, and I'll be happy to chat with you and see how I can help.
Excellent. Well, Manuj, it was a pleasure talking with you. I'm so excited that you were my first guest, because I really believe you set the bar pretty high for the rest of my guests coming on, and so I can give them something to aim for. And again, okay. I just really enjoyed meeting you, learning about you, checking out your website, and your books and the things that you're doing. I'm really impressed with it. I look forward to staying in touch with you and having you on another time for us to catch up and get to know each other even more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
If you're enjoying the content and finding it valuable, we would appreciate it if you could take a moment and leave us a review. Your feedback is important to us and helps us reach a wider audience. If you leave us a 5-star review, it would mean the world to us. Not only does it help us improve the podcast, but it also helps us attract more sponsors and grow our community. Thank you again for your support and for listening to the Productivity Smarts podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to Productivity Smarts, where we help you achieve your goals and live your best life. We hope you've gained valuable insights and actionable strategies to boost your productivity and increase your happiness and fulfillment. Remember to apply what you've learned and keep striving towards your goals. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more inspiring episodes and expert advice from our host, Gerald J. Leonard. Until next time, keep pushing forward and unleashing your productivity smarts.